best music from around the globe.
Hi, this is Hayden J.
This is Euclid.
Hey, we're Dilly Tech.
Playing beautiful melodies, telling terrible stories, creating a whole new radio experience for you.
This is Betty Cam.
This is Alex Preston.
I'm Murray the Speedwagon.
You are listening to
Bayswater
Radio.
All right, guys, here we are with our special guest for the month, the DJ, Brenton Chan. Thank you for coming along, man.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful. So what we'll do, bros, we'll get in, we'll ask you a few questions so that all our listeners can find out a bit about you, where you're going to be playing and so on and so forth. So I guess the easiest question to start with is, how long have you been DJing?
DJing, actually, I've only been fully fledged into it for about 2 years now. Just kind of like a bedroom DJ and just muck around with mates DJ for a little bit before that, but I only really stuck my teeth into it and really I bought decks about 2 years ago, and since then I've just my eyes light up when I see the things. But before that love music. I've always been out partying, running nights and helping obviously the promotion, and we have an events company as well, and just through that, the more I got into the scene, the more people I've met, and as I kind of tidied up my skills a little bit, got some opportunities, and it's kind of just grown wings a little bit in the last 6 months here. So yeah, just very, very, very fresh in all honesty. I know a bit of still very unexperienced and a bit raw in a lot of elements, but the foundations are there.
Cool. So, who or what inspired you to start DJing?
Ooh. That's a really good question. There was probably a mixture of influences. Obviously being amongst the same, I'd probably have to say being being in venues like Revolver, and I think a couple of the first people that I saw that really influenced me were I'm influenced a lot by the things I see in person, not so much hearing something or watching something on TV, but if I go and experience it live, I remember watching Anyo and Ilio. Yeah. Ilya Cooper is out of control. Anyo's out of control also, but I watched them play together, and just a mixture of brotherhood and doing something with one of your best mates that you love, and the two of them were just I just remember watching in the cage at Revolver, and one of them was just I think Ilya was just doing these amazing mixes, playing with the crossfader that I never even touched. I don't even know what that properly does in the decks, but he was just out of control, and just that was probably one of my biggest influences. And along with one of my best mates bought decks pretty early on a few years ago, and just between the two of us got learning, and I think one of the big things for me is being able to do it with someone that you're close with, or that being able to share the journey with other people is definitely really important to me. I'm sure you guys get to get to
camaraderie, man.
The camaraderie. It's only what I've realised is it's only half of what it really it would only mean half to me as what it does if I wasn't surrounded by so many beautiful people in the industry, and surrounded by close mates, and so yeah,
nice.
That's where it's drawn from.
Beautiful. So obviously you only have a very short career so far.
Yeah.
But what is your biggest highlight to date?
Ooh, I definitely reckon the biggest highlights have come in just the last couple of months, really. My passion kind of fired up a few months ago. I took a month off work in conjunction with I've always really enjoyed it, and being out in the town, and just being amongst music and amongst good people, and I kind of looked at myself and I was I actually can see myself I can see I have a passion for it, and I was if you want to take it seriously, just gave myself a test in the month of July. I was I'm going to do dry July, be completely sober for the whole month, play all my gigs as I would, and if you still love it as much as you do, then go for it. Push a little harder. And since then, it's kind of taken off a little bit. So I detracted from your question.
No, it's
so good.
And yeah, like a few months after that. That's only a few months ago. Probably the first gig at Revolver was like pretty massive. Like, you know, it's been a place where like I've always just really enjoyed the vibes there. It's like probably to me one like Melbourne's best venue even, and most respected venue, and to like grace the cage where so many other great people have been before, and I've watched so many other people put clinics on, and you know, just like had so many beautiful times on the other side of that cage. To jump in there and like to do that for the first time was probably personally DJing wise definitely the highlight so far. But like very very second close, or even like alongside that was a few weeks. I think 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weekends ago we did our own showcase there. So I run primitive. Yeah, I run Primitive People with two of my best mates, and yeah, just very. They happened quite soon after each other, but we ran the showcase there for the Sunday afternoon. So like that, like DJing wise, the first one definitely meant a lot more. But like in the context of, you know, like the camaraderie and like having your best mates there, like it was just, our lineup was full of like some of Melbourne's most talented, and they were like our closest friends and ones that have been supporting us so far, and just that whole day being with everyone alongside being in the cage as well was definitely probably a highlight.
That's mad, man.
First, number two.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So who so far have been some of the biggest DJs you've supported, whether they be big on the local scene, on the home front, or big on the international? Who are some of the biggest guys you've supported?
Yeah, that's a really good question actually. Like I've always loved like, you know, international music, but I do have a slight lean towards the talent within Melbourne, and you know, because it's something you get to go and you get to experience it. You don't like, you can listen to like tracks and sets and whatnot, but it like doesn't mean as much for me. It doesn't mean as much as going and seeing someone perform in the flesh. And supporting wise, Melbourne wise, who do I reckon are some of the, like, there's people like Luke Vecchio that are just like massive energies to like, just like almost an honour to play for people like him, Boogs, Spacey. I've probably never played like before or after Boogs, but played before and after Spacey a few times. He's just like a great presence.
Yeah.
And international wise, I've warmed up for Proc and Fitch, the dance club. They're grouse.
Nice.
Sante as well, at Treat as well, and like I played as a supporting. Like I played at Babylon Festival. Like I wasn't exactly supporting anyone there, but you know, just being amongst that was
Festival, dude.
Yeah, that was unreal. That was unreal. And actually coming up next month probably will be one of the biggest highlights for me. I've got booked to support Lovebirds at Revs.
Sick.
Yeah, so that's like it's all kind of flowing together at the moment, and looks like I'm putting my feet in the right direction. And preparation wise, that'll be really a really interesting one to prepare for, and like kind of nail the correct vibe, and like, you know. So yeah, that one's got me a little bit nervous, but also like excited at the same time. So
Man, it's good. It's a test.
So yeah, that's
Takes it to the next level, bro.
yeah, probably
Pressure will make you rise.
Yeah.
Sick, bro. So, if we want to come out and see you, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, give us a rundown of gig-wise, where you might be.
Where I might be, Friday nights at Portico, probably one of Melbourne's like top 2 or 3 like venues at the moment. They've got a lot of momentum from Day Spa, and we just started up Friday nights there called Mr. Chan's.
That's where it is. Yeah, so
So Friday nights, Mr. Chan's. The boys behind that, Cole Hand, Andreas Mango, and Ryan Haynes are like some really, really, really respected heads in the industry. Like Kyle runs like Loud, I'm pretty sure, and Babylon, and yeah, that's a really a really great team behind there, and like they've got me on to help a little bit around ideas wise, decor wise, like music direction wise, just give my thoughts and give a bit of feedback from the general consensus of the crowd and the people that are there, and like I'll play there every week. So that's Friday night. I'm just thought I'd give a little shout out to tonight.
Yeah, no, all good, man.
They're doing really well. So like Friday nights have been a bit empty in Melbourne for a while. Like had Saturday nights have always been pretty big. Sundays always been a lot going on. Friday nights was kind of taken by, like, Baked Tits had it for about 5-6 years, but that when that wrapped up, like, it was kind of empty. Like, a few people tried a few things. We tried to help out at Friday night with Panic Club at Tramp, the one that was supposed to take over Baked Tits, and like a bit more of a techno focused night, but that didn't completely grow wings. So it's good to have something fresh and new back on the Friday night scene.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Friday nights, Mr. Chan's Porn & Co. Saturday nights, my kind of like humble abode, or not so humble abode for the last like year or so has been Treat. So the bottom end.
Yep.
Volume wise, like show wise, and like that's got to be the biggest like venue in Melbourne at the moment. They get like probably between like 1,000, 1,500 to 2,000 people.
Yeah.
Most weeks it's like they've just got a really great formula down there, and like, you know, filled with lots of really good like Melbourne talent, as well as like they're the ones that are putting on like Cock and Fitch and Sante, and like all the big names will be down there, like tech house wise. So yeah, and this weekend I'm playing at Suki Lounge.
Yes.
It's out in Bell. It's far east. So that's like I've never been there. I only went there for the first time a few weeks ago, and it's like a really like bit of a hidden gem out there. Like so far away from everything out, like from the inner cities, but it's rammed in there, and it's like got great vibes. I'll be down there Saturday night for one of my dearest mates, Samuel Marker. He's from that area, and he has his Samuel Marker and Friends Part 2. So me and myself, hands down, and Leg Boy will be down there. Those guys are unreal as well, by the way. They're probably up there as one of Melbourne's finest at the moment. Like, seeing what they do, same thing there. Like I respect them so much because of the brotherhood. Like they're like pretty much the best of mates, and like seeing them like connect and like put on a show as they do. Like it's very hard to like, you know, really like deliver that when you're playing with someone else. Like you often need like that sort of understanding and chemistry and connection between each other. I'm sure you boys have it, but
yeah,
it's very hard to find. Like I find myself like, you know, really seeing it when I do have it with people, and those boys definitely have it. So that's Saturday night. So Saturday night will be Suki, Treat, and then Circus, playing Circus Black. So that's they got Circus Saturdays, and then the Circus Black takes over as sort of a recovery around like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I think I'll be playing there at like 3 or 4 a.m. And then so I'll play there like maybe like once a month or once every few weeks. A couple good mates of mine, Josh Kerr and Jake Shepherd, are running the black night down there. And then Sunday morning I'm playing at Tramp for the first time. Tramp Sundays for the first time, or Tramp's recovery for the first time. So that's like always been like, as like a kid growing up, like you'd always go down to Tramp, and like that's a place that everyone would end up like towards the end of the night, and that's an institution in itself. Like that and Revolver are probably the only places in Melbourne that'll kind of live forever, sort of thing. So yeah, that's a wrap. So that's a pretty big honour for me actually to like jump behind the wheels at the place where I've probably spent a few messy nights, and got to be a bit more responsible this Sunday. And
who cares, man?
Yeah.
This card's sick. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I might have to.
So you mentioned earlier about primitive people.
Yeah.
So can you give us a bit of insight to what you guys actually do? Like, tell us a bit about the group.
So about the group, we started up. Myself, William Summers, one of my closest mates that I've grown up with pretty much since we were like young teenagers. And then one of my other closest mates, Adam Wicks, also a very, very, very talented DJ, and like got a really working alongside with him, and like just being close with him over the years, he's like got a really good like mindset, and really good like, you know, like music lens on him, and like definitely someone that has played a big influence in like my progression so far, and like the way I look at music, and the way I definitely my music maturity. So us three are running it at the moment, and from the start of formed I think maybe 3 years ago. So we formed just as primitive people, just as like an avenue to run events under, and you know, you gotta start and build that branding. And around the similar time as we were getting involved at Tramp, we just kind of thought to each other, like, you know, like it's something that, you know, we all love music, and we all love like throwing parties, and we'd probably thrown a few parties just under no alias before that, and then we're just like, why don't we just make it a thing where, you know, we take it a bit more seriously, and like treat it as a business, treat it as a real thing. And just it's progressed nicely over the years, and it's grown a few wings lately, and our general gist and direction is definitely something. It's a maturity sort of thing, and like at the start we're kind of like, yeah, let's throw events, but like as it's gone through, like kind of like what are we really all about? Like, so like for us, it's like, you know, obviously music is the core of it, but for us it's more about the experience of the entire night, and like the way we look at things, it's like you can tell a story with like a song. If you produce music, you can tell a story with a song, and if you're a DJ, you can tell a story with a collection of songs over your set and whatnot. But even further than that, if you want to put on a show for people, you can tell a story over the night. Like even the way you build your sets, and build your lineups, and you know, more about the experience. We've definitely got a big emphasis on crew and like people, and like we've always been like, you know, our people is probably one of our biggest assets that differentiates us from other people. Like we've got like the best friendship group and the best people in Melbourne, the best like people to party with and like be around with. So it's like, you know, the whole experience of from decor to people to music, like the pure music itself, is definitely something that takes a while to kind of like nail, but it's something that we feel like is gives us a little bit of a differentiation. And like when we really sit down, like what are we all about? Like we're about the journey, we're about the music, we're about the people. So
nice.
So yeah, probably highlights for us. We got involved. We like running a stage Babylon last year was pretty massive for us, and then of late, like we've thrown parties like down in Geelong and all throughout Melbourne, and like we ran a techno night for about a year. So that was a pretty big highlight for us. And then obviously our showcase at Revs, where we've been on the other side of so many good times, and now we're just sitting around after, and we're like, how weird is it, or how crazy is it that like just like a couple of years ago we'd be sitting like on these couches at Revs, and you know, we'd be like enjoying the good times that these good people are putting on, and now we're the ones on the other side, like on the other side of the event management and other side of the cage that are giving the good times to the people. So that's what it's all about really at the end of the day. So
sick, man. Perfect. We always love going somewhere and you get a full experience, man.
Yeah, have you guys been out and about in the...
We've been to a few venues. Unfortunately, I have to say I haven't been to Revs.
Yeah. You get it.
It's on the list, man. Yeah.
Yeah, pick it. Like Revs varies so much. It's like goes from like laid back loungy, like post dinner sort of vibes, to like pumping on like a Saturday night. Like you almost won't be able to move there on some nights. And then like for me, like the Saturday mornings and the Sunday mornings have always been pretty notoriously like, they've got such an interesting approach to the way they run their night. Like they will happily turn away 500 people to have Books playing to 20 people upstairs, and it's
right.
It's like you're sitting there, and I'm like I personally know, because like sometimes we'll come with a group of like people we've been out the night before or whatever, and you know, half of us won't get in, and like you just see how picky they are on the door, and like we sit there and like they'll just say nah, and then like they'll know they're more about like if you're gonna like be good, like fit well into the night and like fit well into the vibe, you can come upstairs and like not gonna cause trouble, all that sort of stuff. You're gonna like be a good part of the night, and you're not gonna ruin our like the vibe and the reputation that they've built so much up there. So sometimes you're literally just sitting up there and like you'll have like Sunshine or Bulbs or Spacey or like Brian Fantana, he's unreal as well. Actually, he's one probably another big influence of mine. Just playing to like you and like maybe 20 other people, maybe 5 of them might be friends, and like you're just like, what's going on here?
That's cool.
The joint's pretty much empty, but like the vibe's unreal. So
nice.
And then obviously their Sunday nights, they'll probably have summer series over the course of the summer, and like it's pretty notorious in Melbourne, so you have to get down to one of those. I think they've got like Faithless, pretty old school, like house DJ, Lovebirds, Bart Skills was there the other night. Yeah, some really, really cool stuff happening.
Definitely have to get down there, for sure. All right, man, so I guess a final question. Where does the future, or what does the future hold for Brenton Chan?
That's a really good question, actually. And it's like it hasn't been like, the journey's been amazing so far, and like it's still something that I kind of wrestle with a little bit as to like how far do I want to take it, and like the more I've like got stuck into it lately, the more I've realised how much like the more my passion's grown from just like a little fire to like a big fire. Like I took a month off work, I'm like, alright, just let's leave work, like leave work, don't even think about it, like this is what you're gonna consume yourself with. And it happened naturally. It just took a month off work, and I didn't have to say, all right, today you're gonna focus on music, and tomorrow you're gonna do this, and tomorrow you're gonna do that. It's just like it came naturally. The networking, the reaching out to people, the like getting involved and seeking advice from people. It all just came naturally, and it's almost like a little bit daunting. Like the more like I look into it, and the more I think about it, the more I realise it's what I want to do. The more I realise it's what I'm passionate about. And if I would go and list my top 5 best, like the best moments of my life, like they'll all be surrounded by music, and like the top 3 will be surrounded by, like the camaraderie mixed with like, playing, mixed with like enjoying times with like your closest mates. And it's, like once you experience that, like those highs in your life, you kind of like, well, like what else? Like isn't that what you should be chasing? And so sorry, what's next? For me, like I've got big dreams to produce music, and like I've started the process. The wheels are turning, but it's something that requires a lot of maturity. And like I've got all these ideas that fly around my head every day, and I write them down in my big journal. And like one day, like I'm just going to turn all these ideas into sounds. And so that's the dream. Get a bit creative, like be original, like be innovative, like I'd love to spread music and spread happiness and spread love, and like the bigger your influence, like the influence isn't that big yet, but like even as you see it, like get a little bit further, like almost like what you can give to the world is like the bigger your influence, the more people you can touch, the more people you can affect, and like the more happiness you can spread. And that that's the dream for me. Like pursue music, chase music, pick up. I'd love to go back and learn. I want to go to like music production school. I want to go back, and I grew up playing piano and guitar, like playing classical piano from a young age, and like I would love to get behind the wheels of the piano again. And I play piano a lot, but I need to go back and hopefully like sink my teeth into some of the scenes, and make some beautiful music and run some beautiful events with some beautiful people. And, that's where the dream is at the moment.
Sweet.
So yeah, like the work thing is a little bit of a catch-22 sometimes. It's a bit like, like once you've found something that you love so much, it's quite hard to, convince yourself that like you just go to work and keep plugging through that. And like I'll make the transition when the time's right, when it's not too forced, and when it when it needs to be done, it needs to be done. And
That's it, man.
so, yeah.
All good things come in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome, bro. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Yeah.
It's been awesome getting to know you and learning about your primitive people side of things.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we get out and come and see you play as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to come and see you guys play as well.
Man, yeah, once we get another gig, we'll definitely let you know, man.
I've seen your name pop around a few times, and like I wasn't too sure if it was the both of you or one of you, but I've definitely seen your name on a couple of flights before. But
Yeah, man, slowly. It's it's the same.
Melbourne's the place to be for it.
Definitely, bro.
Once you get out there and people know who you are, and I'm sure you guys put on a show. Once
We try, yeah.
Once the ball's rolling, that's really it. The world's your oyster in Melbourne pretty much. There's nights from Thursday to Tuesday.
That's it, bro.
And plenty of good ones as well.
100%.
The number of places you can play, and that's the dream, really. Just get out there and do what you love.
Play and entertain to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool, bro. Well, let's get into your mix. We'll have a listen. And once again, man, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers, bro.
Hey guys, I'm Brenton Chan. I'm here with Adam and Tim, and you're listening to Bayswater Radio.
Bayswater Radio.
It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is please, at least All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You're listening to Bayswater Radio. Bayswater Radio. listening to Bayswater Radio. Bayswater Radio.